Good evening, everybody. My name is Mashabella, and I am your Wednesday host for Planet Pathlings. This week we were doing something a little bit different, and we were going to discuss four main topics, and that was Samhain and our spin on the actual tradition, the actual Sabbat, and how we view what we do and why we do it. Also, it was going to be ghosts and spirits, and what our take is on that, communing with our ancestors, and also Samhain recipes. So, as far as the first one, Samhain traditions and how we spin that tradition for ourselves, I do things a little bit different than traditional. Halloween night, October 31st, I use that as a night of fun. I am generally with my family, depending on where we are in the development of my family. The month would have been making costumes and getting my children ready, but now that my children are older, I have grandchildren. And now I usually like to spend Halloween night with my family because I do believe it's a night of family. And I do believe it's a night of fun. I do not perform any of my rituals on Halloween because I don't feel that's traditionally the day. And I'm talking about ancient tradition. Before the calendar was a set calendar and a set day for things, we used to just do it by the sun, the moon, and the movement of the stars in the heaven. And that's kind of the way I like to keep it. The full moon or new moon closest to Samhain becomes my important moon ritual that I will do. I already have my water set out, and I am making the moon water outside. I've already performed one mini ritual tonight. Tonight is Tuesday, by the way, and this will be put up on Wednesday morning. The night of the full moon that's closest to Samhain to me is the night of divination. And that's how I like to spend it. So I have my scrying mirror here. I have my tarot cards in this box. And so there's the mirror. And I will be communing with not necessarily my ancestors tonight, but I will be performing certain divination, things that I would like answers to, or just more clarification of things. So this is what I will be prepared to do tonight, and this is why this table, although it's not set up traditionally. The next thing that I like to do is my Samhain ritual will always be at 15 degrees Scorpio. And this year, 15 degrees Scorpio is November 7th. And so that will be the day that I actually do my more traditional Samhain rituals. That one will be to my ancestors. So, the ancestor work I do, this table will transform into a different kind of table, a different kind of altar at that point. I have done this now for very many years because trying to reconcile the 31st as Samhain to me was very difficult in the past years. And now this just makes me feel like I'm following my path a little more efficiently, and not missing out on the fun activities that we should be, instilling in our children. So this is what I will be doing. Now, this time for Halloween, I have gone completely out of my comfort zone, and I will be traveling to Louisiana. I will be in New Orleans, and I will be going to the Witches' Ball there. I will be spending the day of Halloween in the graveyards of New Orleans. That night will be the Witches' Ball, and Friday nights just enjoying the sights and sounds. I will be with three of my witchy friends. It'll be the four of us. And Sunday we will just take leisurely brunch and stuff, and then we'll start heading home shortly after that. So that is my ways that I spend the holiday a little bit different than a lot of people. The next thing is ghosts and spirits. Well, my family, if y'all have been following any of my videos on my personal channel, in the beginning I talked a lot about spirit contact. It kind of runs in my family, and my sister has talked to dead people since very early on in her life, and it started out as people thinking it was imaginary friends, until they started being able to recognize exactly who it was she was talking about or talking to, and it was people who had passed, not necessarily anybody that she knew or had met. And I have always had spirit communication, and I didn't have a name for it. So I grew up with a little bit of different, I didn't have to prove anything to myself. I've always known of its existence. It has always felt natural to me. It has always been a part of many a family member, and it has never seemed far-fetched or out of the ordinary. I've just always had it, and it's always been. I can't tell you all of the different kinds of communication I've had, because there are things that walk with me on a daily basis. So I have communication literally almost any given day, something. And it can be very mundane, like turn this way, not that way. Or, down to letting me know something. I have had many past friends and family member come to me and give me certain communications. I have a brownie in the house as we speak, and I'm beginning to think that there's a second something in the house as well, because the behavior is a little bit different. So I think there's two little things in my house running loose, and I'm perfectly fine with it. It makes life interesting, and it's sort of like having pets without the responsibility of the pet. So I have invited them to stay as long as they are not causing much mischief, and the antics that they do have been quite amusing to me. And now, how I commune with my ancestors. I believe that the quickest way for you to be in touch with an ancestor is the memory. And the memory can come about in several ways. One, you can just think and start feeling very emotionally about a story, an event, a particular moment in time that you remember about that person. This makes a connection, and the minute that there is a memory flooded with feeling and emotion and vibration, the spirit is there. The other way is the ancestors that you haven't actually met. Some people we haven't met, but family heirlooms passed down through the generations is one way, is another way of communicating. And having possession of something that they handled and loved in their lifetime is a strong way to build a bridge of connection with that ancestor. And again, I believe that if there is any feeling with those actions, that it will draw the ancestor in very rapidly. The other thing about ancestor work is that you can do spell work even for that. I have performed spell work, and I have called in both the god and goddess, and I have used that with a type of spell work using DNA bloodline kind of thing to go back through time into ancestor work. So there's many ways to approach working with your ancestors. If you my deity, my main one, is a keeper of the gate of the crossroads, and as such she often has bridged. I believe she's walked with me since I was a little girl, and I think that's why spirit communication was open to me. And it's just because of the type of deity she is and what her role is in that kind of item. The dark time of the year is my favorite time of the year, and Samhain is one of the most favorite. Mabon and Samhain, mainly because it's the journey into the dark on those two. And I also love Beltane, and the reason that Beltane and Samhain is because those are the two times that the veil is thinnest, and I seem to get my most communication with spirits that don't normally contact me, and I love it. I thrive on things like that, so it's very important to me. And I do a lot of cooking at times, but this year it's been a little different since I'm going to be traveling. I haven't done much of my cooking other than the starting of spaghetti squash and stuff like that I eat in the winter months. But I haven't really. I have my two little pie pumpkins that I'm fixing to use when I get back from New Orleans, and then I will start making things like pumpkin bread, which was one of my grandmother's favorites, and pumpkin pie, which is my grandson's favorite pie. So I love making those two things, one for the memory and one for the future memories. But I thought I would do something a little different since the other girls, I think, are going to do a lot of the cooking type things and actually being more in the kitchen witchery aspect of it. But I thought I would share today my favorite Samhain incense recipe for divination. And I will link this in the down bar and put the recipe there, but I will tell you my Samhain incense recipe, and I make it on the full moon closest to Samhain is when I actually do this. So it will be tonight that I will be making this incense. It's 2 parts myrrh, 2 parts sandalwood, 2 parts lavender, 1 part frankincense, 1 part bay leaf, 1 part juniper berry, 1 part cinnamon, 2 parts wormwood, 1 part dragon's blood, 1 part witch's brew, 1 part anise, and you just grind them together, and you let it ripen until Samhain. So I'll be letting it ripen until the 7th, basically. And I use it for divination throughout the year. And that is really all that I have for you today. I am going to also follow this video up with Spin's Halloween tag as well. And I hope that y'all will join her in doing that Halloween tag as well. And we would love to see those videos. So if you post a link in Planet Pathlings, if you like the videos that you see here, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel Planet Pathlings, or visit us also again on Facebook, we would be more than happy to have you. And also we would love to have your videos and things posted in response, or just your ideas and feelings on the topics that we cover. It would be wonderful to see the different viewpoints, because the pagan community is such a wide variety of people, and although we carry a lot of the same things in our traditions, we celebrate them quite differently, or we express them quite differently in our practices. And for the most part, there's no right or wrong about anything that anyone does. So the differences help expand and grow others that watch and hear what you have to say. So I love learning from other people. I love sharing what I do and what I know as well. So I encourage y'all to do VRs if you do videos on a YouTube channel, and we would be, like I said, love to see you there and love to be linked to your videos. Y'all have a very blessed full moon.